So I'm going to, well, both of us try to speak fairly quickly. So here's our agenda. We want to talk a little bit about
information to the back.
the career life planning process, which is from birth until death. We're always planning. And our focus is on understanding our kids' potential. For example, I know the potential of this is to be a blue spruce that in front of my house is over 40 feet tall. Now this is another seed. It has the potential to be 40 feet tall someday, but not if I keep it in my bag. So it needs nourishment and support, and that's what we're going to talk about. Not only understanding your kids' potential, but providing appropriate guidance. Who are they? Who do they want to become? What are their opportunities? And we'll talk a little bit about how changes are creating new opportunities that we have even a hard time imagining right now. And how do we help them with their planning and achieving of goals? So, first of all, the career life planning process. So as long as we're living, we are learning and we are creating a better life for ourselves, for our family, our community, and our whole world. How do we do that?
Karen, excuse me. Don't worry about doing this. I want you to listen. At the end, I will tell you that we have a website. We will post it. Okay? So just relax and learn. Thank you. Yeah.
So, throughout our life, we ask, who am I? What do I want to do next? Who do I want to become? But especially for young people, because they have their whole life in front of them. That is a big question, a very important question. In that, what are the opportunities for learning, for work, for having a happy life? And how do I achieve that? What are my goals? What do I really want? What are my dreams? So as parents, we want to help them in that process, just like we are helping ourselves. In fact, the way we manage our life and make goals and become better people, that is teaching them also. So all of us, for our kids, we want them to be happy, to be safe, to be successful, and we want them to learn about the opportunities that are out there. And we want to help them do that. So, what do our kids have as their potential? So it's a quest, it's a search that everybody goes through throughout their life of who am I? Who do I want to become? So the first thing that we will understand is it's a lot more complicated than this. This is a spruce, could be a spruce tree. It won't become an apple tree. It won't become a chestnut tree, or it won't become a flower. But with our children, there are many possibilities. They have different personalities, multiple intelligences, they develop different character, they have learning styles, different interests, and that seems to be very important for understanding that, and different values, attitudes, and beliefs. So as we go through some of these slides, I want you to start thinking about your children, and as you were saying, each child is different. So what are the differences that we can appreciate in each of our children? So, in personality, for example, you've heard of type A and type B personalities. Type A, go, 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 go. Type B, let's take it easy, let's enjoy life, it's good. Okay. And you can ask yourself, what is my personality type? Because that is the image you give your children. Okay? If all of us are personality A, go, 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 and our child is personality B, I want to relax, then we have conflict. We say, no, I want you to go, go, go. And the kid says, no, I want to relax, I want to enjoy life. Both are good. This one dies of a heart attack. And I'm in that category. I've had
The other
heart
one,
surgery already.
poverty, right?
Huh? Pardon? Yes. Okay. There are many other ways of understanding personality. For example, this is a poor slide, but there are extroverts and introverts. Extrovert likes to talk, likes to socialize a lot. Introvert likes to think. They get their energy from inside. So what is your personality? What is the personality of your kids? This is called the Holland Code. It's got 6 different personality types. And it's looking at how kids can connect that with different kinds of work in the health field. And so there's so much that we can learn, and kids can learn about themselves to make their choices. Multiple intelligences. Many parents are especially concerned about logical, mathematical, and verbal linguistic, so they can go to university, go to do engineering, be medical doctors, be accountants. These are usually the main things that happen in school. And sometimes we don't value the other things that are very important in life also. People that love nature and are concerned about the environment. People that are smart about themselves, understand themselves, and understand others. People that are visual and are good for photography, graphic design, and causes. People that love music. People that are body smart, the athletic. People smart, that are very good at forming relationships and working with people, and social. So many intelligences. Again, what are your strengths? What are your kids' strengths? There are 24 character strengths that have been developed by Martin Seligman. And here they are. But there's a website, I think, on here, or maybe not. It's the VIA Character.org. You can take that free test online, both you and your children, if they can read. And so again, all of these things, some of us are really good at saying gratitude. Some of us are very good at persistence. Some of us are very good at kindness. These are also very important characteristics. Knowing our emotions. They say boys have 2 emotions, angry and happy. There are many more. Ideally, we would like to experience especially joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. The other end, sometimes life gets bad, and so we have fear, grief, depression. We feel like we're victims and powerless. And especially for young people, sometimes they find themselves sometime in there, other times there, and that's natural. But how do we manage our emotions? Learning styles. Very easy. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Much of education in school is auditory. Therefore, those kids that have that as their strongest learning style might find it easier. But a lot of the work you have to do is visual in reading and writing. So again, that is, you compensate with some of these things. Kinesthetic, need to act things out, need hands-on learning. In your report cards from your children, from grade 1 up to grade 12, you have 6 learning skills and work habits. Again, very important for success in school and in work. Responsibility, organization, independence, collaboration, initiative, self-regulation. They're developing skills that they will use for all of their life. So usually when people choose what they're going to do, they choose according to their interests. But sometimes we get carried away and we think much more about, I want this high position that pays lots of money. And we forget about interests. That is not a good connection many times. So what are the interests? So you mentioned one of your sons likes music, another one likes sports. So there's different, let me see, do we have sports here?
No.
No sports, terrible. That's list.
Typical Chinese six packs, right? In science, no spot.
This one has more. Okay, all kinds of things that a young person might like. Many of them like sleeping. So important to discover your strengths. We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses. Strengths are two things. One is you have potential and aptitude, and two is you have interest in it. You love doing it. So that's the part that we want to, in a competitive world, we want to develop more and more. Then there are values. Values are harder to see, but they're deep down, and they're the most important ones. If we follow our values, we will have much more satisfaction in our life. So which of these values are important for you, for your children? Here's some examples of some values people may have. One of the issues a lot of young people have is, I'm not good enough. I don't like myself. I'm afraid. I'm angry. I'm not safe. No one likes me. How do we deal with that? Often, there may be the belief, I can't. How do we change that into, I can? So, there are many beliefs which have an influence on our attitudes, therefore how we behave and the actions we take. If we have strong beliefs that I am good, I am confident, I am capable, I have lots of potential, I have an attitude of confidence, and then my actions, I try hard, I do my best, I get results that I am happy with. So positive attitude and many other kinds of attitude. I was noticing here that they have also values, and some of these sayings here are attitudes. So it's being taught in school, but we teach it at home too with our children. Here are some more examples of attitude. These are the choices that we and our kids make each day. Are we caring, energetic, creative, ready to do our best? Or are we angry, depressed, cynical? So those are choices we all make throughout our life. So, with that in mind,
So
how
now,
do we make everything work well?
now I think I'm a parent, right? So I'm going to share with you how the parents work. How parents provide appropriate guidelines. After you learn all these information and discover your kids' potential, and you find out the passion and help them to explore. So what does the parents do? The parents focus and support who the kids are. Not because I'm an auditor. I make sure my kids has to do the auditor job. I work for the government for 34 mixed years, he worked for the government. No. Is we find out what they like. We wanted to support them. So we have to be supportive and like a buffer. Be available to be a good listener. Just like everybody else. So kids are no different. They want our guide, the reinforcement, and comfort kids when they have experienced the ups and the downs of their life. Because don't forget that when the kids are in school, they are also in their own community. Okay? Do not make assumptions about the potential that they have. The parents' responsibility, of course, I'm sure you all are good parents, otherwise you won't be sitting here. How to develop a strong work ethic, because kids seeing you is like a mirror. Sometimes, some people say, oh, your kids look like you. I hope it's not just your handsome face or your pretty face. It's also you really reflect whatever you do in your house and whatever you treat people, whatever your responsibility are, your kids would absorb everything. So encourage your kids to be so focused, set realistic goals that they are fair and attainable. Instead of focusing or remark about their potential, give them compliment for their efforts, resilience, or initiative. And if they complete the task, praise them. Pay attention to the value of their effort, the process. It's not just like, I know that being Chinese, sometimes we're very practical. We want the kids to start from point A, jump to point D. No. Even though sometimes they cannot be successful, because don't forget the world is so compatible. If they can finish 3/4 of the way, but trying their very best and finish, still the process is important. When we think about when we were younger, how many things we have learned, how many times we have failed. So helping your team living in a balanced life is very important. Now, I don't want to just talk about balance life. I know sometimes it's difficult, even ourselves, right? But at least we have these 6 areas in your mind. How do you cultivate a good relationship? Just yourself with your kids, with your spouse. Because that is very important when you cultivate a good relationship with your spouse, with the people around you, with your coworker. Chances is your kids also learn this kind of EQ from you without you telling them. Treasure the true friendship and to develop the true love. And that is very, very important. Make life meaningful. Make the most of things in your life to make the difference. And naturally, your kids will make the difference as well. Maintain healthy mental and physical mind. That is very important. As you can hear, 1 out of 4 kids nowadays has some kind of mental issue. Why? Because sometimes they also have some kind of stress from the school. And also teach them financial intelligence. Because I know from some of the parents that they travel, and part of the parent, they have to live in other place to make a living. And sometimes these parents, they have a guilty feeling, and they come home and they give a lot of material thing for the kids. The kids doesn't really want that. I think the kids rather like to have a good communication with the parents, then can talk to the parent, can share their sorrow with the parent more than you just give them the gifts, a material thing. And also teach them, what is financial intelligence to them, how they manage money from the very young age. Because I understand a lot of kids go to university, they don't live at home, they spend the money crazily. And then all of a sudden they start to have credit card, oh boy, the credit rating is 400 instead of 750. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the credit reference. Okay? You cannot buy credit card, credit reference for your kids. It's they have to earn it themselves. So financial intelligence is very important. And then teach them. Find a passion to the work they do so that they don't feel, sometimes they get disappointed, but if they still have passion, they still have the resilience to work. More parents' responsibility are, number 1, build the resiliency in the school and at home. Encourage the kids not to be afraid of any challenges. Of course, we have challenge. The kids has challenge too. Every day we have all kinds of challenge, right? So encourage them not to be afraid. You're not the only one. Mom has that too. And they say, oh, mom has that too. Then I can start to have a good conversation with my parents, right? Help enjoy and learn from all that life has to offer. Let them understand community services. Not just say, oh, you work 40 hours, volunteer work. Just do whatever. Just finish it so that you can do something else. No, teach them to enjoy. Let them find out what are the community responsibilities so that they can actually enjoy. It takes time for them to learn. By learning them, it really helps themselves to find out their potential as well. Praise their intelligence, creativity, self-confidence, and enthusiasm, but also they have to be humble. Nowadays, to teach kids to be humble, it's something else, okay? Just like when we were young, you tell me to be humble. I said, well, when was the last time I remember that, right? Talk about or focus on their potential. Now, let the kids understand resilience. That is very important because every day we meet a lot of challenge. We have a lot of up and down, a lot of zigzag. So resiliency is not one specific thing, but it's a combination of the skill and positive attributes that people gain from their life experience and relationships. The attributes help them solve the problem, cope with the challenge, long-term goal, and bounce back from the disappointment. And this is very true when you get down to it. And sometimes we have practiced it and we didn't even realize if you have it. This is better than the mental pills that you take. This is really is some kind of skill that you pick up naturally and you really learn a lot by overcome a lot of difficulties. A resilient person can be deceived from the amount of emotion damage by taking from life-related problems, emotional, financial, education, or sometimes even your reputation get damaged. And if you have resilience, you can bounce back. Okay? How to develop resilience in kids? Then ask yourself, do I know what is resilience? How does the kids bounce back? Okay, relationship and reaching out. How? A sense of belonging to communities and to groups. Strong parents-kids relationship. Good communications with the children. And care about them. And really ask them what's the problem. And be a good listener. Never let the kid feel that you are too busy for them. But mind you, there is difference between time management and this. I always say, I'm sure all of you, most of them are working parents, right? So when you are busy, if the kids ask you something, you will say, yeah, mom is busy. But for sure, identify the problem and say, can I get back to you because I'm on the phone, I'm doing something, I'm doing budgeting or paying the bills or whatever you're doing. And just say to them, for sure, honey, I'm so glad you called me. And I'm so glad you tell me. How about, can I talk to you after an hour or something? Always make them feel they are your priority. Okay? And understand the personality boundaries and not being selfish. How to develop resiliency in youth? The essence of having optimistic. Identify the difference between healthy optimism and a mindless positive attitude. Healthy optimistic is realistic, not based only on the belief, based on the practice, based on the practical experience and the skills. Young people have greater capacity to handle situations if they have a good guide, and you are the good guide, and you are the mentor. Give you a broad base of experience to explore and understand. How parents build the resiliency in youth. Supporting resiliency through good communication, be a good listener, and let them feel that you have the time for them. Respect the feeling, respect the voice and point of view that they have offered to tell you. Encourage them in respectful assertiveness. Respect their opinion, encourage them to support their view. And how parents build resiliency in youth. It supports resilience through strong relationship. Before the 8 years old, lots of effort, lots of affections, care, forgiveness, enjoyment. Let the kids know you care, especially Oriental dad. Okay, I'm not trying to put the dad down. Dad is always love the kids as much as the mom love the kids. But a lot of the time, dad doesn't want it to show. This is our Chinese culture, am I right? But kids need it in their heart. If you embrace them, you love them, you kiss them. Like even, I remember when my kids was younger, and he went up to dad, and dad just all of a sudden looked, I said, hey, this is in Canada, I told my husband. He said, oh yeah, yeah, okay. So age 11 and 12, beginning challenge idea and authority. Develop greater interest in friends. They love to play what? Video games is their little world. And other activities that draw them away from the parents. I must say that some of the video games are also good. Now, I don't mean all, but some of them are really good. In fact, I have spoke to some parents that they said, well, you know, there's one way of me communicating with my kids is I play the good video game with my kids together, and we have a lot of fun. That's true. Okay, even if you ask my son, and he'll tell you the same thing. The teens, take one great responsibility, independent, and thinking for themselves. Parents change the role and relationships accordingly when they get to teen. It's not just like when they were from 1 year old to 4 years old, you do a lot of micro teaching and all this thing. But when they are getting bigger, sometimes we have to let go. We have to understand what is good enough as a mom and define the line to make the kids understand they have to carry their responsibility. They have to understand their learning ownership. Okay? How parents build resilience in youth, and let's see. All right, so we skip that. Resiliency in school. Participations. Participation in class learning style and learning activity at school. Academic ability, intelligence development, motivation to learn and work. Children activity participate in their own learning, ability to concentrate and solve problems. Parents are the first career coach. Do you agree? Right? So the career coach is, the biggest role is ours. Clarifying self-assessment, connecting dots and resources, exploration opportunity, challenging in setting goal and plan, motivating for kids' actions, introduce valuable volunteer work for the kids. In the public school, then we talk about at least the 40 hours volunteer work. And I know a lot of parents put their kids in the IB program, then the kids has to participate in the creativity, action, and the service program. That is at least 50 hours work for each of creativity, actions, and service. Okay. What are the youth needs nowadays? Kids need self-esteem, confidence, yes, I can do it, being positive attitude, respect, support, and parental care, and the biggest is the love and the understanding. Communication, listening to understand, open mind by the parents, modeling. Parents are the mirror for the youth. Okay, here you go, Neil.
Thank you. So far, most of what we're talking about is each of your children are constantly looking at who am I? What is my potential? What am I able to do well, to do better? What are the things I like? What are the things I don't like? Sometimes they know that better. But the opposite of what they don't like are some things that they do like. And they use that in making their plans on who they want to become. I like that we use the word who here, because who means you want to become, first of all, a good person. Secondly, you want to do things to earn a living, to help other people, to play your part in society. So now we're going to talk about what are the opportunities and how those opportunities are changing now. So it's more than just what work are you going to do? That's the big question. We're also looking at everything else in your life that's really important. The relationships, health and well-being, education, your philosophy of life, spirituality, what brings meaning and purpose. We know the North American dream is what?
Be successful.
Pardon?
Be successful.
To be successful. And what does it mean to be successful?
Money.
Money, house, car, nice husband or wife maybe, or another partner, children. So that's the American dream. And I think many people still believe in that American dream. So how do we go about achieving those things? There are some that we say young people, they navigate. They have an idea, this is what I'd like to do, and they work towards that. Many young people today are exploring. Well, let me try this. Maybe I'll try that. And from each of these things, they learn. It's a different personality. They're okay with having some things that are not too sure. Then there are those that drift. They say, well, let's see what happens. If an opportunity comes, I will go for it. So that's a challenge for to a lot of parents. I think most of us want them to be navigating, that they know what they want to be and they're going to go do it. It's very complicated nowadays. So it's really a journey, and many aspects of the journey are unpredictable, as probably your own experience. I have changed. I have done all kinds of different jobs in my lifetime. And so where I am today, when I was a young person, I have no idea that I would be doing this kind of work. First of all, I was shy, so I didn't think I would want to talk to people in a larger group. I've done a lot of that. So most young people, and in fact even maybe yourself, would have a hard time naming more than 20 occupations that would be of interest. Now, most of us know, engineer, doctor, lawyer, teacher, nurse. But after a while we say, what else is there? Now that's a problem, because we have over 40,000 occupations to choose from. And there are more every day. And there are some that are no longer around, or the opportunities are much smaller. So it's important to look at all kinds of possibilities and really to spend some time researching that. And so I'll talk a little bit about being future looking. These are some websites that are on the sheets that we handed out, where you and your children can use to make some of this exploring and planning.
Emil, can you explain to them, give them some hints about the good thing of those websites?
Sure.
So just give, those are very good treasure websites.
So if you're in the Toronto District School Board, the Catholic District School Board, and many other boards, they will have a program called My Blueprint. Students can plan their courses in high school from grade 9 to 12 before they even start a single course. They can do that when they're in grade 8. When they plan what they might do in high school, this program will tell them all the kinds of education they can continue at any university or college in Canada, what apprenticeships they would be able to enter, and also what kinds of work they can go directly from school to. The Ontario School Counselors Association has a very good website, and it connects to all kinds of other very good online resources. Another one that many schools use, in fact every school in Ontario may use Career Cruising, and it has very good information about all kinds of occupations with videos and people saying, I like this about my job and this is what I don't like about my job. Lots of good information. And it's good for information for us to take a look.
May I add something over
Yeah.
there? Is because a lot of the time I have encountered to parents and say to me, oh, I'm only an IT, I'm a nurse, and I'm this, I'm that I'm doing, and I haven't done so many work. And how can I find out? Is you can find out from my blueprints. And the sheets that I give you, it tells you the info, it tells you, how you get the password and things like that. The good part is, I wanted to say it and emphasize on it is, whenever your kids wanted to do, let's say they want to be like my daughter, a psychologist, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look up, what is a psychologist required? Then you see from what it's required and work all the way down instead of work all the way up. When I say work all the way down is, let's say this is a psychologist, and you say, which other college or university has that program? Number one, you can find it from my blueprint. Number two, you can say, okay, from the university, which university required what they have in their high school level. Now, this is very important. This is what Emil and I always talk about, career pathway for the high school, or even in the middle school, parents say, wow, that's too early. It's not, because you kind of understand the potential of the kids, and then you work all the way from what they want to be and work all the way down. And then my blueprint and the website that we have give you all this information. So you have no excuse and say, oh, I'm only an IT guy, I'm only a nurse. No, it tells you all of this information, the requirement from all the way up to university and how they get the destinations, where they get the destination if someone is an accountant, and then work all the way back, even up down to where? Grade 7, right?
Yeah,
My
they
blueprint,
can use it
you
in
can
grade
use it
7
even
and
from
8.
grade 7. So I answered you
In
the
fact,
question.
they're using it now in grade 1 and up.
Yeah, see?
For developing portfolios.
Yes.
It's a Who Am I portfolio.
Okay,
Of
all right then.
interests and things. The other part of it is, if your son or daughter is using my blueprint, they can, up to grade 6, they're actually doing it on paper. But after grade 6, it's online, and you can go online to see what they have put in their plans. Or you can help them with their plans too at home.
That's one way of having you have a good quality communication with the kids. Because when the kids get to adolescence, they always say, you don't know anything. I said, no, I know something here, right? Okay, thank you, Amy. Sorry to interrupt.
I think it's really important now, as we see changes happening very quickly, that what are some of the things, the new things that young people can get involved in. So, here are several things. Population is growing. What kind of needs and jobs are required in dealing with that? The environment is changing. Green jobs, as they call them. The green economy is expanding and becoming more and more important. The economy has changed very much. It's really worldwide. New markets all the time. Markets changing. China was the big.
Attention please, we have 4 cars are blocking the shipping and receiving areas. So please, if your plate number is BFNP 241, BWOL 664, DLAS 044, BTKS 816, please remove your car from the shipping and receiving area.
So the economy of each country is fluctuating. The United States, Canada, China. It has an impact on how the choices of opportunities. Technology, I'll talk quite a bit about that. Very big changes there. And then infrastructure, everything from railways, highways, sewage systems, many parts of the world do not have good drinking water, including on our.
下面4位车主将您的车从 shipping and receiving area 挪走，车牌号是 BFNP 241 BWOL 664 BLAS 044 BTKS 816，谢谢。
So, technology is especially changing very quickly. And one of the key things to keep in mind is there are certain things, if you look carefully at what is just starting, then you can jump the curve. Means, can you imagine if you were working for Google 5 years ago? It was just beginning to become such a tremendous service. We have the story of people that started working out with Steve Jobs. Imagine other places where people can start at the beginning and the opportunities that they would have. One of the problems that we often have is we think all the opportunities you have to go to university. Many young people are now completing a university degree, going to college to get the more practical experiences that they need for work. So people are combining many different things. Some of the new things, they're not taught yet at college or university. You learn them by being on the job. So, imagination is becoming one of the most important things to develop in ourselves and others. Here are some of the new things that are around. Nanotechnology. Very tiny technological instruments that allow us to go inside the body, to explore how things are working, to fix things in all kinds of fields. Computers, of course, big data, bandwidth, genetics, with the Genome Project. We, in the years to come, are going to be able to do many things in preventing many of the usual health problems that people have. Robotics, that's been around a long time, continues to grow. 3D printing, I'm especially fascinated by that. How many of you already have a 3D printer in your house? Hey, wow, see? You can also use a 3D printer at Staples. They are using 3D printing, I think especially fascinating, in creating human organs. They will take cells from a person that has a problem, use your own cells to create a new organ, like a liver or a kidney. And because it's using your own cells, your body will not reject it. It's amazing, but things are happening. Wireless, everything artificial. Here's the most amazing thing. By 2030, the futurists say 2 billion jobs will disappear. That's pretty bad news. But for every job that disappears, they say there will be 2.6 new jobs. So the challenge for your children and yourself is to look at where are those new jobs. So often we look behind rather than looking ahead. Think about what might be around in 5, 10, or 15 years ago. 10 years ago, having a cell phone like this would be very hard to imagine. This happened in less than 10 years. Imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years. So, the more important thing is developing knowledge and skills that can be used in many different ways. In fact, one of the messages, one of the counselors I work with is, you are not your degree. Whatever you study, what you might do with your studies can be in all kinds of places. Basically, by getting your degrees, you're showing you can learn and you can do stuff. And then you learn and do stuff everywhere. And many people, perhaps almost the majority of people, are working in something other than what they first studied for. So we are flexible. So these are the key things, but probably especially for the success here in Canada: creativity, innovation, and starting your own business is becoming the most important things to consider. So the last piece in that whole model is what is the plan? And that's where I think parents can be very helpful, is simply listening to your children, even if they are in grade 6 or 7. What is your plan? You know, what kinds of activities do you like doing right now? Playing piano, what would you like to do? Do you want to continue playing piano? What are your goals? In school, out of school, at home? What are very important conversations? And each of these things, they are learning and we are learning about their potential and things that they like and things they don't like. So we're looking at, we can't predict what their accomplishments will, but we can help them set certain goals towards those accomplishments. Many people are always considering college and university as the best choices. These are very good choices. And many young people will, at some point, probably go to college or university for at least a few courses. That's a good experience. I really encourage people to consider apprenticeship. One of the things that can't be done by somebody in India in many of these apprenticeships, everything from getting your hair done to fixing your plumbing or your air conditioner. These are very well-paying occupations and more in desperate need. My in-laws, their fridge broke. They were not able to get anybody to repair it. They said in 2 weeks. My in-laws are over 90 years old. They can't be without a fridge for 2 weeks. And if somebody comes to fix their refrigerator, it's going to be $200 or more. $6 part, $200 for being there. So there are 40,000 and more occupations. One of the key things is for young people to decide, do they want to be an employee? Do you want to be self-employed? Much work is now contract work, which is for some nervous and nerve-wracking, because you work for a short time, you make real big money, and then you have to sometimes wait for months before you find another one. But that's happening more and more. So being an entrepreneur, not all children, young people have all the abilities to manage in the workplace. And so we have community living where they will be, we have a safety net to help them to have also meaningful things to do that does not necessarily make money, but help them to live on their own. So some quick suggestions. You want to maximize potential. Math and sciences are important for all kinds of work. Look for strengths. What are their values? And give them lots of experiences. So many occupations we consider are STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And some are adding art to the mix, are some of the areas with more possibilities. So, in closing, we all need to continue learning, and it could be in different places. Apprenticeship is a good learning place along with college and university and on-the-job training. Volunteer work and those kinds of things are very good experiences for developing their skills, always learning. And one of the big things is being willing to go to other places to find the jobs. Here's how most of us imagine the way it should work. Is, okay, you set a goal and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, achieve goal and finish. That works for some things, but when you start planning your whole life, it's more like this one. It's like a bowl of spaghetti. And we have lots of twists and turns. Some of them are happy ones, sometimes not so happy, but we do often achieve the goals that we ultimately want. So this is one of the first, I would say, to keep it simple, go to this website that the Ontario School Counselors maintain for a lot of information about the career choices and opportunities. So, to conclude.
Now you're going to see me again. So after you understand all the spaghetti zigzag career and introducing a few successful young men, well, after the election, of course we know our Prime Minister Trudeau. When you study even his success to what he has right now, well, mind you, he's young, he still has a lot to learn being a Canadian Prime Minister, that we all have to support him in one way or the other, not because I'm a liberal that I support, but what I wanted to say is because after the elections, I'm sure you all study the one that you wanted to vote and understand the career and the education. So, and I just wanted to use Trudeau as an example. You know that Trudeau's parents get separated when he was only 6 or 7 years old. But look into his education's background. He didn't just get one degree. In fact, he began his engineering degree in year 2002, studying in Montreal, but he quit in the middle of the road. Okay, and then also he has a master's degree in environmental geography in McGill, and also I think he has another degree in politics as well.
I think so, yeah.
Right? So what I wanted to say is, since we understand such a successful Prime Minister, then what about our children? What about the future of our spaghetti pathway young people? They have to carry on a lot of transferable skill from birth to all the way, and learning from us and learning from school, learning from the university, learning from the college, right? So what it means, my bottom line I wanted to say is, when the kids is at home, we have to have a good communication with them. We have to know, what is their down and upside, and work together. Nowadays, it is very difficult for young kids to work 1 or 2 jobs in our life. For the young generation, that whoever they are 20 and younger, you are expecting they have to have at least 14 and 15 different kind of career jobs that they have to do. From when they were starting the volunteer work and all the way, at least 15 to 18 jobs. And as a parent, you can see there's a lot of youth program offered to kids from 19 years old to 29 years old. Even you can ask from CPACs. There's a lot of youth program. A lot of program that the government giving the funding to give opportunity for the kids and the employer to hire the kids to do internship, to get some work experience, and then to get into the field. Okay? So being a parent, we have to open our ear to really kind of understand, rather than the kids say, hey, you don't know anything. Here's another one. Anyone know him? Of course. Then tell me why you say of course.
Since we have kids, right?
Yes.
TDSB.
Yes.
We attend the workshop and seminars with him and talk.
That's right. He was a trustee, and also he was one of the chair from the Toronto District School Board until he realized that he had a greater potential and he wanted to use his passion to serve the Liberal Party. So he took a leave of absence and then he ran for as a politician. So he got it. He is working in the North Scarborough. So what I'm trying to say is, that is his name, and he was in, a lot of the news say that he is one of the young Chinese men, one of the 100 young Chinese men, we should watch him. Okay, so I'm not trying to advertise anyone or politics, okay? But what I'm trying to say is, parents, we have to understand the zigzag from your kids. We have to understand that how many roles they have to work on to get experience, to work on what they have, right? So they need a lot of support, and this is what we wanted to say. And remember I said that we will put the PowerPoint in our website. This is our website, and whoever get the sheets, we have it put here as well, but you can copy it down. Okay? All right? So I hope you learned something from us, and thank you for spending the time with us. So here is the Q&A. You?
Yeah, we still have 5 minutes, so let's start the Q&A session,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
please.
Oh, it's a good session now, right?
We'll finish at 5, so we have 5 minutes, so let's start the questions.
Yeah, I'd like to know that if you have children or anybody in the process of learning, and if they have to change the gear, like you said, you get the degree, you may not work in the field, or you change in the mid-term, like the Prime Minister, the next Prime Minister. How do you, as a parent, how do you guide them through their process?
I think
Or you
as
just
young people go through different experiences, and especially if they go to university or college, it's like climbing a mountain. As you go higher on the mountain, you see more things. And then you say, oh, okay, this I like, but there's something better. And but all along, we want to help them make the best choices they can. One of the difficulties, I think, for a lot of young people when they make their choices of university programs is they've been so busy getting high marks, they haven't really thought out exactly what they want.
Okay, yeah, all you know that this lady taught us so very helpful, right? But I have a question. Actually, I have a grade 9 son, right?
Yeah.
He just like this lady's son. It's very, have so many interests, right? But aesthetic, music, even some kind of math. But it's, if you cannot tell, I don't know which one is his strongest, because he loves so many things.
Yeah.
But he sometimes talks to me that I don't even know what I will do. My suggestion to him is, try to study all things as possible. Go to, apply as many volunteer jobs in different fields as many possible to get a taste.
Yeah.
You can gradually find out which one you will love. Finally, you choose out. Is that the right advice, or do you have any better one?
I think sometimes, we do have very many choices. It's just like a grocery store.
Right.
You got 50 kinds of cereal, and they're all more or less good. Some are better. I think sometimes for young people, number one, getting experience to see what they like more. It's a complex question, but I think sometimes they just have to choose what would they like to do next. They won't do it necessarily for the rest of their life, but what would you like to try next? If a person has multiple intelligences, they have so much choice. So, and I think almost any choice they make will probably turn out pretty good.
Well, you should feel happy that, number one, you are so supportive so that your kids will be able to have so many choices. Indirectly, it's actually you're supporting them without you telling me. Number two could be also the character of the kids. Could be the kids have very common that people should all have some way or another multiple intelligence. You don't just have one intelligence, okay? We all do have multiple. So how the kids balance their intelligence and then work their way that they want, time can tell. Time can make certain things to be mature. Like, for example, when my daughter, she's a children's psychologist, and when she was in grade 8, I had already found out that we went to the Disney resort. How come so many little, I call little Dougie, following her? Always, a line of kids following her, and love to talk to her, because she has a way to attract kids to talk and to do things with her. So as a mother, then I said, honey, you like that? She said, oh yeah, I enjoy blah, blah, blah. She feels proud. I said, okay, then would you like to learn swimming? You'd like to learn dancing and this? And she, just like what you say, she covered everything she loved to learn. Sure, she is right now, at the age of 31, she get her destination as a clinical psychologist. So what her primary specialty is autism. She look after autistic kids, or kids has mental issue that cannot concentrate to study. So now she used, because when she was 17 years old, well actually 16 years old, she already got the piano ARCT. And she already started to teach at the age of 18 and get her teacher associationship. And then now she said to me, Mom, you know, I feel so great. I use all kind of my transferable skill, you know, all these drama learning when I was younger, and all these piano and all this. I use it to really give treatment to different individual patients that I have. So everything that your kids has learned, down packed, you didn't know when they would dig it up from the treasure box to use it. And this is very, very common. So what you do, again, just like what Neil said, use this to cultivate. How you cultivate the seed. You may not be able to see it today, but someday you will see it. It will use balance. Remember I talked about you have a balanced life. You might use 30% here, 70% there in a different way. Does it make sense? Thank you.
You can expect young people up to the age of 24 and maybe even higher to spend a lot of time still exploring, trying different things. And they still have the freedom to do that. Once you have a house and a family, much harder. So we need to be patient and let them find their way. But we are also, as I think Amelia was saying, we are mirrors. Sometimes people do not know themselves well. They get information about themselves from others. So you can see, you do that very well. Have you considered doing more of that? And often they'll say, no way. But other things they'll say, yeah. So that helps them, having a good conversation.
Try to really let your kids learn a lot of practical skill from what you are good at. They naturally get it. Like to me, I like cooking, I like garnishing food. Then my kids would really kind of take it and say, I love this food, I don't like McDonald's, I don't like this junk food, because, and then later on they learn to cook nice food. Like this is one of the books I also wanted to introduce to you is here, Getting to 30, A Parent's Guide to the 20th Something Years by Jefferson Jensen Atlas and Elizabeth Fisher. This is a book telling you that some kids are not mature until 30. Okay? And don't be surprised, and this is being honest. It's not just one book saying that, right, Emil? There's a lot of books saying that.
There's still some issues of maturity I'm still working on.
Okay, is that answering your question?
You've been very good. We'll continue to stay here. If you have other questions, you'd like to come see us.
And don't forget to visit my Cultivating Educational Service Center outside, that I have a table outside, that it also carry different kind of service. And between Emil and myself, we also have a education program, and can you explain?
Yeah, we, along with other people, we get together once a month to talk about how we can help parents and young people with their career life planning. We do also individual counseling with young people, and this is our contact information and our website. If you would like us to do a workshop, for example, at your school, in your community, we would be happy to do that for you.
Yeah. In my Cultivation Educational Service Center outside, I have a table there, and my son also does personality identifications. So he is one of the facilitators there on the top. Just like what I have explained, he is a natural health product developer because he graduated with a biochemistry chemist program, but also his passion is working with children, and so he also does workshop in the next door in STEM with Simon. Okay, all right, thank you.
very much.
Yeah.
So on behalf of the CPAC Foundation, I want to thank Emil and Amelia, sharing so many valuable advices, and we have a gift for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take a picture with that. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Thank you.